ask you a question. When you think of NASCAR, what do you think? Do you think of the bump and run moments like at Bristol in the 90s with Dale Earnhardt and Terry Labonte? Or do you think of an iconic driver such as Richard Petty or Dale Earnhardt? Well, in NASCAR, a lot of things become iconic, such as the stuff I just mentioned. There are many iconic moments, such as Richard Petty getting 200 wins, or even Jeff Gordon retiring, or Tony Stewart. There's also the sad moments, such as Dale Earnhardt Sr.'s passing, but that's still pretty iconic. Now, let me ask you this question. How would you describe to someone the 2010's NASCAR? The generation we are currently in. Sure, there are the classic moments like Matt Kenseth taking out Joey Logano at Martinsville, or Joey Logano once again giving the bump and run to Martin Truex Jr. in 2018. But there's also moments like Jimmy Johnson getting his seventh championship, or the Gen 7. But let me ask you this. In, let's say, maybe 10 or 20 years, would we be thinking of the 2010s of NASCAR? Do you really think that in 2025 we will be looking back at a 2010s NASCAR? No, we won't. And here's why. Despite having its flashy moments, the NASCAR's 2010s will not be remembered at all. Mainly, I would say this is because there's way too many flashy moments and not enough just surreal moments. You have the huge moments and huge icons for times in NASCAR, like the 1990s. There's Bristols and bump and runs. The 2010s, well, you've got the Gen 5 and a lot of flips. You also have some, let's just say 5-time champ in a row, Jimmy Johnson, or Tony Stewart coming out of nowhere. There was also the introduction of the Gen 5, which I will show here. This is a Gen 5 NASCAR. You can see the splitter, the hood, but most importantly, and probably the most iconic part, the wing. If the car has an iconic part to it, I think you could say that it's memorable. Of course, a big thing in NASCAR's memorability is probably the nostalgia or the popularity. In 2004, at Talladega, we would see tandem racing. My bad, not tandem racing, but we'd see pack racing. But tandem racing was what I was going to get to. Tandem racing was, let's just say tandem racing, which I will show here, was to an extent exciting, because you'd have the last lap moves like Kevin Harvick and Jamie McMurray in, I believe, 2010, where they would make a last lap move. However, pack racing in 2004 was much more exciting, and NASCAR was way more popular, just like in the 90s. In 2010, though, all we're going to remember about popularity is its sudden decline, and possibly even recline, but that'll be more towards the 2020's, which I will get onto now. The reason I think we will not remember the 2020's is because it will have its flashy moments, such as this generation or decade. But the thing is that it's all going to happen in 2021. We're not going to remember the rest. We may remember 2021, but the rest we will not remember. We're coming in next year, and we have a new schedule to an extent. The same tracks, though, and it's not much different. Sure, it's exciting, but once again, that's just another example of flashy moments. Now, let me just say this. 2022 and on is going to be the same as the 2010s for the most part. 2021 will have set the record for the next maybe 10, 20 years, even 30 possibly. This is going to be the most exciting year we've seen in a long time, but it's going to cause some, let's just say, it's going to make the rest of the 2020s even less memorable. Because even with the flashy moments, we'll have seen everything and we won't be paying attention to have an iconic moment. Iconic moments are everything. Even with the Gen 7 or the engines, well, or even the schedule, if something were to change, it wouldn't matter. I mean, we'd already see it. Once it was in effect, we'd be back to where we started. Just trying to find something that would grasp everybody's attention. The big problem with NASCAR right now is that we're not getting enough people to be fans of the sport. If we want to get fans, we're going to have to attract something that everybody would want. I hate to say it, but look at Formula E. Formula E, despite, and I'll say this from a guy like Eric Stubb, which I'm pretty sure he said it, but the thing is, though, is that it's electric, and we draw a lot of more manufacturers. Plus, a lot of people want to see futuristic things. NASCAR, as much as I love it, is not as futuristic as a place like Formula E. Formula E is electric, as you already know. That's where the E comes in. So, therefore, a lot of manufacturers are investing in it. If we want to get into NASCAR, I'm not saying we should go electric. I'm just saying we should try to do more to engage sponsorship. We're losing a big sponsor practically every year now, or a big driver. 2015 was really the start of it. This is where everything went downhill. You can see Jeff Gordon retiring, and with him being gone, so did AARP. Not as big, but then in 2016, Tony Stewart left. This didn't lose much as he had his own racing team. In 2017, Dale Jr. left. This was huge. Of course, this would eventually lead to Nationwide leaving. We've also seen a lot more companies leave recently. I can't recall many, but I do know that Target has left. Target was one of the big ones. And then you've got others like Burger King. You never see them anymore. So if we want NASCAR to come back, if we want NASCAR to go back to its glory days, we're going to have to find a way to engage the sponsors. And until we do this, which I think it'll be another maybe 10 or so years, we won't have this. And this is why I think NASCAR and the community will now remember the 2010s, or for that matter, even the 2020s, except maybe 2021.